Hello everybody. We extend you a warm welcome to our Watchtower study for this week, November 24th to 30th, 2025. Study article number 38 entitled, Show Respect for Others. To be respected is better than silver and gold. Proverbs 22:1. Focus. Learn why we need to show respect for others and how we can do so under difficult circumstances. Let's begin with paragraph 1 question. Why do humans appreciate being shown respect? As we read in the theme text, respect is very important and essential. Respect is a basic human need. We thrive when we receive it. Number 2 and 3. What are some situations in which we ought to show respect for others? Well, we cannot help but see the flaws of those around us, and we live at a time when it's common for people to be disrespectful. Our imperfection, our ego, okay, it's part of it, and what will we discuss in this article? We'll discuss what it means to respect others and how we can show it to, first, family members, second, fellow worshippers, third, those outside the congregation. We'll focus on how we can show respect under difficult circumstances. Number 4. What does it mean to respect others? Okay, respect and honor are related. Respect refers primarily to how we view a person. When we respect others, we view them as worthy of our attention and consideration, perhaps because of their qualities, their achievements, their position. Honor, though, refers to how we treat a person. When we honor others, we treat them in ways that make them feel valued, appreciated, and dignified. And that's why Jesus said at Matthew 15:8, "These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far removed from me." Okay, paragraph 5. What can help us to show respect for others? When we understand that our love for Jehovah and our desire to please Him, because it's Jehovah who's asking us. He wants us to show respect for others. In fact, He requires it in connection with the superior authorities. Okay, and there is an expression, a very common expression, I'm happy to show people respect alone as long as they have earned it. But that's not, this mentality is not fit, it's not fitting, it doesn't fit for a Christian. Number 6. Is it possible to show respect for someone who doesn't respect you? Explain. And the answer is yes, of course. We have some biblical examples like King Saul humiliated his son Jonathan in front of others. Some parents, they have this behavior. They put down their children in front of others. That's not okay. But on the other hand, we notice how Jonathan respectfully supported his father in battle until the day Saul died. Actually, they died together in battle. So he respected his father till the end. Another biblical example is high priest Eli. He is an example of what we shouldn't do. Actually, the biblical example is Hannah, because when high priest Eli accused her of being drunk, she spoke respectfully to Eli, even though his failures, both as a father and as a high priest, were widely known in Israel. But Hannah respectfully responded him. And we have the example of the Apostle Paul and others. Number 7. So, what makes it difficult for us to treat family members with respect? And it's because they're so familiar to us. We spend a lot of time with our family. As a result, we know both their strengths and their weaknesses, their mistakes, and vice versa. Some may have an illness that makes it difficult for us to care for them, or they may suffer from excessive anxiety. Others may have a strong or hard temper, and it's completely part of their nature, of their personality, like speak and act in ways that hurt us. Of course, it's not pleasant, and we want to avoid this kind of people. Why? Because instead of trying to make their home a place of rest and peace, some create a turmoil by treating family members with a lack of respect. That's not okay. With that in mind, let's move on to paragraph 8. Why is it important to show respect for family members? And when we read 1 Timothy 5, 4, and 8, we understand this is a Bible commandment. Jehovah expects that we respect and honor our family through our words and through our actions. In these verses, the Apostle Paul explained that our primary motive for honoring those in our family is not just because we do so, is because it's part of our worshiping to Jehovah, our godly devotion. So this term refers to loyal worship and service to Jehovah. And this makes sense because he established the family arrangement. In other words, when we honor a family member, we actually honor Jehovah. That's very important. It's a powerful reason to show respect for family members. Number 9. How can a husband and a wife show respect for each other? And through their words and through their actions, through their conduct, a husband who honors his wife shows both in private and in public that she is precious to him. In other words, he never strikes her, humiliates her, or makes her feel worthless. Very important, and vice versa. A wife shouldn't strike her husband, strike him. She shouldn't do so. Because these kind of situations happen not just to women, but also to men. There are some cases. And we have the experience of a brother from Argentina, and he says he's been caring for his wife with a serious illness, and sometimes she says things that hurt him. And when that happens, he reminds himself the words of 1 Corinthians 13:5, and this motivates him to communicate in a respectful way rather than in a demeaning way. On the other side, a wife who honors her husband by speaking well of him to others, she won't throw him under the bus. She avoids sarcasm, mocking, name-calling. She realizes that such conduct is the rust that corrodes a marriage. Very important. So respect in marriage is in two ways. Okay, and there is an example of another sister from Italy, and she recognizes that sometimes her words and even her facial expressions reveal a lack of respect for her husband. Let's move on now to paragraph 10 question: how can young people show that they respect their parents? Again, through their words and through their actions. Young people obey the family rules that their parents set for them. As we read at Ephesians 6, 1-3, they speak respectfully to their parents. And a very important point is when their parents get older. The Bible established that children should care for their parents. It doesn't matter if their parents are witnesses or not, they should care for them. Okay, and there is not excuse, nor assignment, nor privilege that helps us to avoid our responsibility before Jehovah. Now, how show respect for fellow worshippers? Paragraph 11. Why may it be difficult to treat fellow worshippers with respect? And sometimes we find special people in the congregation. Some may treat us unkindly. Some may judge us unfairly. Some may irritate us. And we wonder, how is that possible? Because they're brothers. They have the Bible's knowledge in their mind, in their heart. So why they're doing so? If a fellow worshiper gives us a cause for complaint, we may struggle to continue treating him with respect. Number 12. Why is it important to show respect for fellow believers? First of all, Jehovah, Jesus, and the angels, they are observing our reaction. They're observing how we treat our fellow worshippers. So, we notice a lesson from the angels. If we shouldn't treat opposers with disrespect, how much more so should we avoid treating fellow believers with disrespect? On the contrary, we should take the lead in honoring them through our words and actions. Okay, because doing so, we show respect to Jehovah. And 13 and 14, how can show respect for those in the congregation? And it's very interesting how the paragraph is highlighting how the elders, they should respect the other sheep, the brothers and sisters around. And this is very important because sometimes the elder, they must give some counsel to the brother or sister in a certain situation. But they need to do so kindly and not when they're frustrated or even angry. They shouldn't put down the person, causing a traumatic experience. Sisters, they can do much to create and to protect the atmosphere of respect in the congregation by refusing to engage in negative gossip or slander. And all of us can show respect to the elders by cooperating with them and by expressing gratitude for their work. Very important. Paragraph 14. Question. Okay, this paragraph is telling us the story of a sister, and she was dealing with a hard situation, trying to show respect to an elder, and she noticed the problem was her attitude. And she realized that the problem was not the brother, but her pride. And now she understands that there is a relationship between her humility and her ability to respect others. In other words, if someone is a pride person, won't be able to respect others properly. 15. Why may we struggle to show respect for those who are not in the congregation? Sometimes in the service, we often meet people in the ministry who appear to have no love for Bible truth, and not just no love for Bible truth, no respect for Jehovah, no respect for us, and they may react in a harsh and offensive way. And of course, it's not really nice to have these kind of reactions in front of our eyes, and some choose to remain ignorant because of their upbringing. We may have to contend with employers or school teachers who are hard to please, co-workers or schoolmates who are hard to deal with, and it's very common, and this is why we may find it difficult to show respect to them. 16. Why is it important to show respect for those who are not yet serving Jehovah? Because our conduct may attract them to the congregation, our good conduct. So, in some way, they could glorify Jehovah thanks to our good example, to our good conduct in our workplace, the place where the young ones are studying, etc. Our neighborhood, etc. So, Jehovah is watching and listening to what we say and how we say it. This is a powerful reason to treat others outside the congregation with respect. Very important. Number 17. How can we show respect for those outside the congregation? And while in the ministry, we never want to give the impression that we look down on those who have little or no Bible knowledge. And instead, we want to consider others as both precious and to Jehovah and superior to us. Very important. If someone insults us for our beliefs, so we won't pay bad for bad. We won't insult them back. So the best way sometimes is let the person go, or we need to go immediately. We're not there to demonstrate we're right and they're wrong. That's not our goal. Number 18. Why is it worthwhile to cultivate and show respect for others? Through this article, we learn many and powerful reasons to show respect for others. And when we respect our family, we honor our family head, Jehovah. When we show respect for our spiritual brothers and sisters, we honor our Heavenly Father, Jehovah. And when we respect for those outside the congregation, we are attracting them to our great Father, Jehovah. So it's really important to show respect through actions and words. We can do our best doing so. Dear brothers and sisters, thank you so much for joining us in this consideration. We hope you have a wonderful day and hope to see you in our next video. Bye for now.